Hi guys, it's Ray here from City Fan TV. Now last year we talked about the owners of Manchester City, the City Football Group or CFG, being very interested in buying a club in France. Now, there was plenty of speculation as to which club it would be, and a few names were mentioned such as AS Nancy, Toulouse, Nice and l'Estac Troyes. Now a month or two ago I said it was likely to be Troyes, and that was confirmed yesterday that the CFG had purchased l'Estac Troyes for 10 million euros. Now Troyes are a team in Ligue 2, or the second division in France. It wasn't so long ago that they were in the top tier, that was all a couple of years ago, and they've not managed to get promotion in the last two seasons, only just. I mean, last season I think they finished fourth, was it 1 point off automatic promotion when the league was suspended. So they're a team that's obviously got an opportunity to get back into the league, and I think obviously that's going to be the idea with the purchase by City. Now the group will become the new shareholder in Estac, having acquired the shares owned by previous owner Daniel Massone. French businessman Maxime Ray has also acquired a minority stake in the club and will take a seat on its board. Now, the acquisition marks the CFG's continued international expansion, which saw the group take a majority stake in Mumbai City FC last season and a Chinese club, Sichuan Jinhua. And also, if you might remember, back in November, December last year, the American equity group or hedge fund group, I think, an investment group called Silver Lake, they bought 10% of the CFG for $500 million, valuing the total CFG group at $5 billion. That's an absolute phenomenal amount of money. Now, if I might as well give you the full name, it is a mouthful, and you'll understand why they're called l'Estac or Estac. The full name is Espérance Sportive Troyes Aube Champagne. Aube Champagne, that's the area that they're in, the region of France, or department. Then they've changed the regions in recent times. But it's really interesting, and let's have a look at what some of the people have said about this deal. Now, Ferran Soriano, City's chief executive, and of the City Football Group as well, he said, "We've had an interest in French football for some time and have long admired Estac, so we are delighted to have completed the acquisition of our 10th club and have a permanent presence in France. This is a milestone for City Football Group and demonstrates how our model continues to adapt and grow in a relatively short space of time." He continued, "At City Football Group, our objective remains to play beautiful football, identify and develop grassroots talent, and have a permanent presence in the world's football centres. There is no doubt that France is one of the top football countries in the world, and we are proud to be part of that community. We look forward to getting to know our new home and the club's fans and working together to create a bright future for Estac." Now, they're not a very old club. They were founded in 1986. They play in a stadium with a capacity of 20,400. It's called the Stade de l'Aube in Troyes. And recent success, they won the Intertoto Cup in 2001, were League 2 champions in 2014-2015, and last season, as I said, they finished fourth, 1 point of promotion when the season was suspended. There's a lot of recent investments in French football from the Middle East. You obviously know Qatar investment into PSG. You might not know about the Bahrain investment into FC Paris, club in the second division, obviously based in Paris, who hopefully I'm going to go and see later this month play against AS Nancy, a club I follow. I started following in France because for some reason they started following me on Twitter, and I thought that's as good a reason as any. Now, in a later video, another time, I'll tell you a lot more about the CFG. I'll tell you a little bit about it now, and you can look at some other videos I've done on purchases in the past where I talked about the CFG, but I'll talk about it in a lot more detail in another video. But I'll just give you some brief information now to get a flavour of what the CFG is all about. and why they're going around buying clubs. Now the CFG, the City Football Group, was created in 2013, and I believe it was the brainchild of our chief executive Ferran Soriano. He wanted to do a similar model at Barcelona. They were not really interested. Sheikh Mansour, Khaldoon Al-Mubarak, chairman, they were more receptive to this idea, and it's really, since 2013 we've invested or bought a club, more than one club every season. I mean, in 7 years we're up to 10 clubs now, and if you include the women's teams, that's 12 teams, because we've got the women's team at Man City and the women's team at Melbourne City FC. Now, as I said, we've got outright ownership of several clubs. Off the top of my head, that's Melbourne City FC, Man City, and New York City FC, and we've got minority or majority stakes in lots of other clubs around the world. I've tried this many times to remember them all, but we've got in South America, we've got in Uruguay, we've got Montevideo City Torque. In Asia, we've got a small stake in Yokohama Mariners. I think they're a club owned by Nissan. In Japan, Yokohama F Mariners, can't forget the F. We've got obviously Melbourne City FC in Australia. In the MLS in America, we've got New York City FC. We've got Mumbai City FC in India. We've got Xinhua. I can't remember the name, guys. I always fail. In China. We've got clubs in Europe. We've got L'Omelesque in Belgium. We've got Girona in Spain, and we've got now Troyes in France. I think that's all 10 clubs hopefully mentioned there. And it's interesting that in Europe, I mean, we had Girona were in the Serie A, in the top league in Spain a couple of seasons ago. Same with Troyes in the top league in France, and obviously I guess the aim is to get them all to the top leagues in each of their respective countries. Now, briefly, the reasons to buy all these clubs one of them is investment, because I think there's going to be an increase in value. I'll give you a very good example. City bought Melbourne City FC very, very cheaply. I can't remember, was it $4 million Australian dollars? It was very, very cheap. We transferred Aaron Moy from there to Man City, and then we loaned him out to Huddersfield. Huddersfield got promoted that season. We sold Aaron Moy for 10 million quid. I mean, basically, we sold Aaron Moy for more than what he paid for Melbourne City FC. Troyes is rumoured to have cost us 10 million euros, which is, to be honest, peanuts. If they can get promoted, it's going to make a huge difference in terms of income next season, being in the season after being in Ligue 1, getting the TV money, and hopefully filling that stadium to capacity, if at all possible. So increasing value, it's going to happen. There's a lot of economies of scale going on. Obviously, City Football, Man City, as it was before the City Football Group took over, they were, we've got fingers everywhere. We've got some of the best infrastructure in the world, the best trainers, best medical facilities, and you sometimes see some of our sister clubs coming with their players to train in Manchester. It's just a dream for so many players. These smaller clubs to have the opportunity to train at City, and maybe one day aim to get to City. So it's a way to increase value, and it's also somewhere we can send kids and have confidence that our philosophy of football is being replicated at other clubs. And rather than send players to, I'll give you an example, Aaron Burich was sent to Nottingham Forest. He played 2 or 3 games, fell out of favour, and that was it. His loan move was a waste of time after that. And I think City will have more control and more chances of our players playing games with our sister clubs, and playing in the same or a similar manner to where we play football at Manchester City. And the kids that we send from our academy, the reason we send them is because there's a massive gap to bridge between academy football and first team football at Man City, and a way to do it is by sending them out on loan and bringing them back once they've had that development for 1 or 2 seasons. It doesn't really happen. The only player that I can remember coming back is Aaron Muric, and he only came back because of an injury to Claudio Bravo, and that's the only player I can think of who's come back and stayed and actually made a career at City. You go out on loan, you don't come back to City. And because of these network of clubs, and as I said, we send the kids there, their value increases, and City sell them on. We make a profit by selling these kids on. It's a way of doing business. It's part of our business model, similar to Chelsea's, and it turns City's losses into a profit every season. And you know, it's going to be interesting to see what the CFG does in the future. I've said many times they will be continuing their expansion. They will be buying other clubs around the world. I think they'll keep on buying in Europe as long as UEFA don't complain. They're bound to buy in Africa and Asia. You know, wherever there's a growing market of football, a growing business market. I mean, you look at China and India, two huge economies as well as developing football markets. The City want to be part of that. The CFG want to be part of that. And I've said I can't see why City wouldn't buy a club in, say, in northern Africa, somewhere maybe Morocco or Algeria. Algeria is a hotbed of football. Obviously, we've got Riyad Mahrez, who's an Algerian player at the moment. Algerian manager, used to play for City. I mean, lots of connections there. And there's some quite good clubs, well managed, well run clubs. If you look at someone like Paradou, I've talked about them in the past, and you watch them, the way they play. I saw them for 2 or 3 minutes in a game. It was only the highlights of the first 20 or 30 minutes of a game, and it was a 2 or 3 minute video, and they played just like City, passing that ball from the back, passing it around. They look so comfortable and controlled, and they'd be a great club to add to the City Football Group stable. There you go, guys. That's the news from yesterday, that Man City bought l'Estac Troyes in France as our 10th club, our 12th team, but our 10th club. And a little bit about the CFG. If you want to know more about the CFG, you can go and look on the channel for other videos about them. I've done videos on them for the last couple of years, but I will try and do a more in-depth analysis of what they're about in the future. Guys, if you're new to our YouTube channel, it would be fantastic if you could subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out. And we're giving you videos every single day, at least 1 or 2 videos every single day. Talk about player transfers, gossip, obviously the Messi thing at the moment. We talk to journalists and football analysts about players that City could be interested in. We do men's team, the women's team. We talk about the academy kids. We do previews with opposition fan channels. We talk as much about City as we physically can. See you around, Blues.